Anthony here. Uh, this is video number 2. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm actually really excited about this video. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. This is going to be my predictions. I'm going to predict the record for each of the 32 NFL teams. I'm going to break it down division by division. I'm going to tell you who I think will win each division, who's going to make the playoffs in each conference, who I think will meet in Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota, and ultimately who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. So I'm really excited to get into this. This is pretty much just based off my opinion, not really based off raw numbers too much, more just off-season moves and kind of gut feeling stuff, who I think will have regression, who I think is going to step up that might surprise some people. A couple teams that were really good last year that I think are going to take some steps back. A couple teams that were bad last year that I think will be better. But it's just based off my predictions, so I'm really excited to get into this. Obviously, there's going to be something I'm wrong about. You can't predict the NFL. You can never predict injuries. You can't predict random guys you never heard of breaking out and having great seasons. It's so unpredictable, but I'm going for it. I'm going to give it a try. I actually like to make predictions. It's fun. It's funny to look back and laugh at the ones I'm wrong at later, but who knows? Maybe I'll be right. So, with that being said, let's dive into it. So there is a little bit of math involved. Just wanted to give you guys a quick breakdown of how I came up with my numbers. Because believe it or not, I didn't just pick a bunch of random numbers. I did kind of have a basis for how many games I thought each team would win. But what I did is I took the total number of teams in the league, which is 32, and I multiplied that by 16 because each team plays 16 games. So 32 times 16 is 512. That's how many total games will be played this NFL regular season. So when I did my record predictions, I just made sure that that number added up to a total of 512, and that's how I made sure my predictions were legit. All right, guys, so let's dive in. I'm going to start off with the AFC East. And when you're talking about the AFC East, where else can you start but with the New England Patriots? I'm not a Patriots fan myself, but I have no choice but to respect their greatness. Tom Brady probably is the greatest quarterback to ever play. Bill Belichick's probably the greatest head coach to ever play. They added Brandon Cooks this offseason. They've had some serious injuries to Julian Edelman and some guys on defense, but ultimately they're still the team to beat in this division. We already know what to expect with that, but as far as Miami goes, I think the Miami Dolphins are a really talented team, both sides of the football. Unfortunately, I just don't think they're good enough at the quarterback position to really be a playoff team, so I see them going 8-8. The Bills, I don't think they want to win a lot of games. They're trading everybody. Seems like they're trusting the process, Philadelphia style. So I don't think they're going to win a lot of games. Wouldn't be surprised to see LaShawn McCoy get traded before the end of the year. And then the Jets, we know they're awful. Maybe they'll win more than one game, but I just don't see it. They got a tough schedule. I don't think they want to win a lot. They don't really have a lot of incentives to win. I think they want to try and get a franchise quarterback next year, and they will have some options for that. So I think the Jets will be terrible, and I think the Patriots will be amazing, and that pretty much sums up the AFC East. All right, guys, let's get into the AFC North now, and let's start with the team that I think is going to win this division, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have, I think, by far the best overall team in this division. Offensively, they're stacked. As long as they stay healthy, Big Ben's got a ton of weapons. Le'Veon's back and ready to go. Antonio Brown is still the best receiver in football for my money. Martavis Bryant is back from suspension. Hopefully he'll be able to stay on the field. Jesse James is an underrated tight end. They just drafted the James Conner kid out of Pitt. Defensively, they've gotten better. They added Joe Hayden. They brought back most of their best players. Their offensive line is good. So the Steelers are a beast, and to me, they're one of the teams on the short list that can win the whole thing. I think they'll win this division fairly easily, although the team I picked to finish second, I think will be, they will fight. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. I think people are sleeping on Cincinnati. Cincinnati disappointed last year, but I think the Bengals are good. I think Andy Dalton gets a bad rap. I think he's a good quarterback. AJ Green is one of my favorite players in the league. Tyler Eifert, if he can stay on the field, is really good. They just drafted the kid Joe Mixon, which obviously the off the field stuff I'm not a fan of, but as far as football wise, he's a really good addition. They've got Gio Bernard. They got some nice names on defense, and Marvin Lewis is on the last year of his deal, so he might be coaching for his job. So I think Cincinnati is going to have a good season. The Ravens, they're always going to be there. They're never going to be too bad, but I just think Joe Flacco, not a huge fan. He did a great job the year they won the Super Bowl. He got red hot in playoffs, but ever since then, ever since he got his money, he's kind of fallen off a bit. Plus, he's had some health issues, and their receiving core isn't all that impressive, in my opinion, although Jeremy Maclin was a nice pickup, but not sold on the Ravens being great, but I think they'll be solid. And then the Browns, 4-12 would actually be an improvement for them. I do think they're going to be better. I think they're building something special in Cleveland, but it's going to take a few years before that shows up in their record. But I do think they'll put up a fight. I think they'll be in some close games. Ultimately, I see them winning 4 games. All right, so now we get into the AFC South. This division is kind of known sometimes for being one of the worst in football, actually, but I think it'll be improved this year. The team I like to win it is the Tennessee Titans. I think this is their year. And they're going to run this division. I think Marcus Mariota's the real deal. Love that guy ever since college. I think he's a leader. I think his teammates love him. I think he's a great quarterback, dual threat, and I think he's going to lead that team to the playoffs. The Texans are really talented. I thought about picking them, but I just am not sold on their quarterback spot. I love Deshaun Watson, but it sounds like he's going to be sitting at least at the beginning of the year, and they're going to go with Tom Savage. So hard for me to pick a team that has Tom Savage at quarterback over a team that has Marcus Mariota at quarterback when we're talking about pretty much equal talent. So I like Tennessee over Houston. Jacksonville will be better, but once again, that quarterback spot. Blake Bortles is horrible. Chad Henne's probably not all that much better, if he's even better at all. So they really just need to address that quarterback spot. They have talent everywhere else. They have enough talent to win 6 games, even with maybe the worst starting quarterback in the league. And then the Colts. The reason why I picked them so low is just I'm not confident that Andrew Luck is going to be back anytime soon. I think he's going to struggle to get back with that lacerated kidney and the shoulder and everything. He's got a litany of issues. That defense is horrible. I think it's going to be a rough year for the Colts. They could be picking at the top of the draft this year. So that's how I see the AFC South shaking out. Okay, guys, now it's time for the final AFC division. That's the AFC West. Arguably the best division in football. I think it's the best division in football. I think all 4 of these teams are really good. I think all 4 teams are playoff caliber, really tough. There's a lot of talent in this division. It's gonna be tough, but team I'm going with to win it this year, the Oakland Raiders. I just think they have the best overall team in this division. Derek Carr is an MVP candidate. He was great last year. I think he'll be even better this year as long as he stays healthy. They added, obviously, Marshawn Lynch, who is going to give them a goal line physical presence that they were missing more than anything, even more so than on the field. I just think that locker room presence, we witnessed it here in Seattle, what he did here and just what he meant to the team, to the locker room. He was like, he embodied what the team was about, and I think he'll have a chance to do that for his hometown team. Plus Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree, they added Jared Cook. Khalil Mack is arguably the best defensive player in the league, or he's definitely top 5. They struggle defensively, but hopefully they'll be able to. They might have to outscore some teams, but ultimately I just think they have the best team. And then right behind them is the Kansas City Chiefs. I think KC is really good. Alex Smith doesn't seem to want to throw the ball farther than 15 yards. I would love to see them go with the kid they just drafted, Pat Mahomes, out of Texas Tech. I watched that kid play in college, and he has a rocket arm. That kid has a cannon. He's the opposite of Alex Smith. He's a risk taker. He'll probably throw some picks, but he also is going to probably win you some games because he's going to make some throws that Alex Smith just simply can't make. I'd like to see him make that switch. I know the Chiefs are loyal to Alex Smith, so that probably won't happen. I'd love to see it. We might have to wait till next year for that. But I think Kansas City is going to win 10 games. I think they'll be right behind Oakland. And then coming in next, the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that they are also really talented on both sides of the football. They always seem to struggle with injuries. I don't know what it is. Seems like everyone always gets injured. So hopefully they'll stay healthy. And then rounding out the Denver Broncos, who I still think have probably a top 3 defense in the NFL at worst. But offensively, they've got some weapons, but just that quarterback spot, man. Paxton Lynch, 7th round pick, and Trevor Siemian. So that's not a good sign for Denver. So anyway, that's how I see the AFC West shaking out. I think the Raiders take it. And so now, to wrap up this video, I'm going to show you the 6 teams that I think will make the playoffs in the AFC. I like the Patriots as the number 1 seed, 14-2. I think the Steelers will be the 2 seed, Raiders the 3, Titans the 4, and then my 2 wild card teams are the Bengals and the Chiefs. All right, guys, that was part 1 of my NFL playoff preview with the AFC predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have part 2 coming soon with the NFC. I'll be breaking down the NFC divisions, and then I'll probably do a part 3 where I show my picks for the AFC, NFC Championship, Super Bowl 52, and who my Super Bowl champion is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to comment, like, watch, and maybe even subscribe if you feel up to it. Thanks, everybody. God bless.